Hello and welcome to Pure Science with me, Soumya Pillai. Every year, millions of farmers around the world face the same problem. Even the best seeds they buy stop performing after just one harvest. Hybrid crops may give them bumper yields in the first season, but if farmers try to save and replant those seeds, the plants quickly lose their strength. That is why farmers are forced to buy new seeds year after year, which becomes a costly cycle that many smallholders in developing countries simply cannot afford. But new research is promising farmers with crops that can be planted once and then their seeds can be replanted again and again with no drop in quality. This promise comes from a breakthrough called the sexless seeds, and it could change farming forever. The science behind this rests on a phenomenon called apomixis. Now we all know that normally plants reproduce sexually. The pollen fertilizes an egg, DNA is shuffled, and the offsprings are all a little different. But in apomixis, the plant skips fertilization altogether. Instead, it produces seeds that are genetic clones of the mother plant. That means every seed carries the exact same high-yielding, pest-resistant, drought-tolerant traits logged in generation after generation. More than 300 wild plants already do this naturally. The challenge scientists have faced for decades is how to bring this into staple food crops like rice, maize, and wheat. This breakthrough came in steps. In 2009, researchers engineered a lab plant, Arabidopsis, so that its egg cells no longer went through meiosis, which is the process that normally halves DNA for fertilization. Here, instead of the usual process, the eggs were formed through mitosis, making them genetic copies of the parent. This was called MIME system, M-I-M-E, short for mitosis instead of meiosis. Once the initial code was cracked, another discovery solved the second half of the puzzle, which was how to trigger an embryo without fertilization. Scientists identified a gene called baby boom in grasses, which when activated in the egg cell instructs to start developing into an embryo all on its own. When these two tools were combined, scientists finally managed to get crops like rice and sorghum to produce clonal seeds. While this was not done perfectly, only about 10 to 30% of the seeds are cloned so far, but it was enough to prove that the concept works. And now in Eastern Australia, researchers are preparing the world's first open field trial of apomictic sorghum. Each flower head could carry thousands of clonal seeds, potentially locking in hybrid vigour permanently. Now, why does this matter so much? Instead of relying on expensive commercial seeds every year, farmers could now save their harvest and replant seeds without losing yield. For smallholder farmers in Africa, Asia, and Latin America, that could mean stability, lower costs, and food security. For seed companies, apomixis could revolutionize plant breeding, allowing them to freeze elite genetic combinations and multiply them faster and more cheaply than ever before. And this isn't just happening in Australia. Around the world, teams are racing to crack apomixis in other crops. In China, researchers have engineered rice varieties that use the MIME system and produce clonal seeds at increasing efficiencies. In the United States, maize mutants with unusual seed development are being studied to identify new genes linked to apomixis. In Europe, scientists have used tomatoes as a testbed, managing to reproduce clonal seeds under greenhouse conditions. Together, these efforts show that apomixis isn't a one-off experiment but a global research movement building momentum across continents. Of course, there are still challenges. Currently, efficiency levels are too low for widespread farming. Scientists need to improve stability across generations to ensure that these engineered seeds perform reliably under real-world stresses like drought, pests, and changing climates. But the progress has been remarkably fast. In just 15 years, the idea has gone from a genetic experiment in a lab to field trials in major crops. If perfected, the impact could be transformative. crops that never lose their hybrid strength, farmers free from seed dependency, faster, cheaper plant breeding to keep up with climate change, and a fairer agricultural system where even the smallest farmers can reap the benefits of the best science. That was all from me. You were with me, Soumya Pillai, and this was Pure Science.